Good morning, it's Wednesday, December 22nd. I'm Kristen Flavin, and while the World Watch crew is taking a Christmas week break, we're taking a look at the meaning and history of a few traditions you might be observing in this week leading up to Christmas. Now this is World Watch. When you think of Christmas decorations, you probably think of the staples. Christmas lights and a Christmas tree, probably stockings, and probably a nativity scene of some sort. Some people have little ones that decorate their mantle, others have scenes in their front yard. And nativity scenes aren't just something that people set up in America. They make appearances all over the world. For example, each year in Hungary, the residents of a tiny village get together to build the country's largest nativity scene in their Baroque church. It's part of a long tradition in Hungary. The first nativity scene was created in 1948, and they kept building it bigger every year until it reached its current size about 20 years ago. It now covers nearly 650 square feet, making it one of Europe's largest indoor nativity scenes.
It is a real community work, and everyone does it very happily and with love.
In a different part of Europe, a man in Venice created a floating nativity scene. The city itself is built on water, so a beautiful floating nativity scene seems perfectly fitting. The man created it by painting plywood nativity figures and fixing them to wooden stakes that he anchored to the bottom of the lagoon. And further south in Spain, hundreds of onlookers got to enjoy watching international artists sculpt nativity scenes out of sand. 8 artists from different countries spent a week working on the scenes. It's a tradition that's been happening in Spain since 2006, and it attracts thousands of visitors every year. Sometimes nativities are creatively illustrated through living nativity scenes and plays. And of course, what they're illustrating is the true meaning of Christmas. Taylor Hubert says one group in Charlotte shares the true meaning of Christmas Broadway style.
Kristen, one theater company does so by using an enormous set, a lot of performers, and even uses real animals. And all that takes a lot of preparation. Narroway is a Broadway-style theater in Fort Mill, South Carolina. And for 25 years, they've been putting on the production called The Real Christmas Story.
It is a life-changing story. It's not just a story about Christmas presents and Christmas lights. We're able to tell all these stories to bring us back to the incarnation of Jesus, God becoming man to reconcile us to himself, that we could live with him forevermore.
Donkeys can't fly. From Thanksgiving to the week of Christmas, the show runs 7 days a week with 3 rotating cast and crew consisting of about 250 people total, which takes a lot of rehearsing.
Our tech weeks are sometimes 5-6 days straight in a row for 6 hours at night. It's a big commitment, but it is an amazing commitment.
Not only does the cast perform non-stop, they also serve food to the guests that the crew spends hours preparing. And when it comes to getting ready for show night, a few of the cast prepares by
playing all the notes on the piano and singing along with the music.
Just making sure everything's in line, costumes are ready.
Listen to all the songs, make sure we know them.
Making sure that she is fed, changed, dressed, and happy for her scenes.
But the show is not only inspiring its audience, it's also inspiring its own cast.
It's really humbling because she gets such a huge opportunity to share a story that is so profound at such a young age before she even has a voice to speak.
I lost my dad 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people were like, oh, I'm sorry, it's for the holidays. I'm like, don't be sorry, because that's what's keeping me afloat, is the promise that came with Christmas.
And 11-year-old Brandt reminds us the importance of spreading that promise as believers.
Our job as Christians is to spread the word of God, and this is the most fun way to do it.
The first ever nativity scene was created by St. Francis of Assisi in 1223. According to a biography about St. Francis, he got permission from the Pope to set up a manger with an ox and a donkey in a cave in Italy, and he used that to tell the story of Jesus. This was also during a time when things called miracle or mystery plays were popular. They were usually performed in churches, and they were reenactments of Bible stories. The reason for that was widespread illiteracy, and because church services at the time were only held in Latin, but most people didn't understand that language, so the plays were created as a way of spreading the gospel in the local language. Nativity scenes fit right into that tradition of acting out Bible events. They continued to gain popularity and spread throughout Europe and then eventually America. Much that we do to celebrate Christmas is not just a celebration, but it's to tell the story of the birth of Jesus and the gospel of salvation. Nativity scenes, Christmas carols, and plays, they all tell that story, and that's fitting, because that's what gospel means, the good story.
Amen and amen.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Kristen Flavin. A blessed Christmas to one and all, and we'll see you in the new year.
Merry Christmas, World Watchers.
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 Merry Christmas, World Watchers, and we'll see you next year.
What is the gospel? Be ready to give an answer to one of the most important questions of your faith. Register now for the renowned youth conference at Voice College.